everybody, welcome to We Are Freedomhouse, sort of another little video just to describe who we are and what we're about as a community of faith here on the beautiful north coast of KZN. I have the privilege, my name is Greg firstly, but I have the privilege of sitting here with my beautiful wife Mariza. We all call her Mies in this part of the world. Babes, it's lovely to have you with me. Guys, what we're going to talk about today is honor and authenticity, and why we as a community really value these very, very highly. Giving honor where honor is due, and also always operating out of a realm of authenticity, so to speak. Being who we are. You know, we are not a community that looks to cookie cut and put people into a box and have them fit a certain mold. Isn't that true, babes?
Yes, very true.
So what we're going to do is we're gonna just talk a little bit around these two topics, honor and authenticity, and how they really bounce off one another. And we look forward to you guys giving us some feedback. And thanks for tuning in. It's really a privilege to be able to do this. So before we start, I just want to read something out of some notes that we have around honor particularly, and then I'll ask you a question, or we'll engage
I
a little
might
bit more.
ask you a few questions.
You might ask me a few questions. My wife does ask a lot of questions, which is really good. It keeps me on my toes. I do appreciate it. So in terms of honor, for me, something that really strikes a chord has always been, and I know you'll agree with me, babes, is modeling or allowing who Jesus is as the model, as the one that we hold up high. He is the one that we emulate. And I just want to read very quickly out of Philippians chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, and maybe a little bit of verse 4. It says, Paul writing, "Then make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind." Here's where it gets really quite sort of definitive in terms of honor. "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others." And I know that you had some thoughts on this as well, babes, but really it's about, for those of you tuning in and listening, really what we value is putting other people ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We see that modeled in Jesus' life, and we want to be a community that does the same. What do you want to say on that?
And for me, when I think of honor, I think of the first word that would pop into my mind is love. You know, when we love each other, it's easy to honor each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and love is not necessarily just something that we feel. I don't just go by, today I feel good, so I'm going to love you. But honor is even when we don't agree to, you know, still choose the way of love.
Yeah.
So I always try and have the heart motivation to be love. And for me, that's honoring each other and seeing people rather for who they are than who they are not.
Yeah, I love that. What you actually, you know, what Mariza's touching on here is very important, because so often we'll come to an environment or to a situation with our own set of lenses and worldview and life experience, and without even meaning to, very often we'll impose that onto somebody else or onto another group of people. But what Mizi's touching on here is loving people for who God created them to be. Isn't that right?
Even when they're not there yet. You know, you honor someone by seeing the created value in them.
Yeah, brilliant, man.
You know, even when they haven't reached it, like how you loved me before we married. You know, I wasn't quite...
Well, do you want to share a little bit on that, maybe?
Yeah, so like which part? About me not wanting to be a pastor's wife?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
So yeah, just to give a little bit of background for those that are tuning in, that is to some degree our story a little bit.
So Greg, right from when we started dating, there's always been a call on his life to go into what, you know, I describe as vocational ministry. And I just didn't want any of that, so I dug my heels in. But I did pretend a little bit, if I'm honest.
No, for
I was like, yo, I can do this, I can do this. And then once we were married, I was like, no, I don't want to be a pastor's wife. Absolutely not. And Greg just loved me through that. He honored me through that. He saw who God created me to be and the potential, the value that was on my life. And he just loved me through it. So for me, honor and love goes hand in hand. Yeah.
And just by the way, incidentally, a moment between husband and wife, it was my absolute privilege to do that, babes. But
you
guys,
like my blue eyes and my dark hair.
But guys, seriously, it's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. And I remember, maybe not exactly where we were sitting or what time of year it was or anything along those lines, but I remember that conversation with Mies, and I remember feeling, okay, God, there's no going back now. I'm in this. We're in this.
Yes.
And all I felt God say was, my boy, she is your first sheep.
Wow.
Honor her, love her through what she is wrestling with, and keep speaking life. And,
that's what Jesus does with us.
Exactly right. I'm certainly not the full package.
No, but you did a good job.
Thank you.
And, thanks, babe. Compliment. But I'm just thinking of Jesus and how he loves the bride. If you think Jesus is the most perfect man to ever walk the earth,
absolutely,
and yet he honors us by always calling out the best in us. There's no condemnation, there's no shame, so for us to honor each other, we need to always call out the best in each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and honor and authenticity goes hand in hand.
It does. Yeah,
because when people know that you honor and value them, they feel safe, and therefore they feel like they can be authentic.
100%. I love that. And in fact, you had something you wanted to read out of the Passion from Romans 12 around this.
It says it so nicely. So in Romans 12, it's from the Passion Translation. I want to read verse 9 and 10. It says, "Let the inner movement of your heart always be to love one another, and never play the role of an actor wearing a mask."
It's amazing.
Aren't we all wearing masks at the moment?
Sure.
But our hearts.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the motive of our hearts. Then it says, "Despise evil and embrace everything that is good and virtuous. Be devoted to tenderly loving your fellow believers as a member of one family. Try to outdo yourself in respect and honor of one another."
Beautiful.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's stunning.
Yeah, and authenticity. I love what it says. Don't wear masks.
Yeah. And
so what would you say is authenticity, babe?
Well, I think authenticity, in terms of cultivating a culture that we are wanting to, as you speak, what you're speaking about is a safe space where people can be themselves. Having said that, I certainly don't want to say, you come in and we're not going to walk a journey with you where perhaps, like we've all had, and perhaps even me speaking into your life, you speaking into my life, but other people have spoken into our lives in terms of blind spots. That's very important. But the safe environment for that to happen, where you trust the heart of the person who is speaking into your life, you might be coming with what you feel is an authentic package. And it is in a sense authentic, but we're wanting the authenticity that is Christ. Amen. To be what saturates our community. So, I might be authentically selfish, but that's not Jesus.
No.
And that's not something that we're wanting to excuse or allow just to run rampant. When we're speaking of authenticity, we're wanting it to be very clear. It's the authenticity that is summed up in the person of Christ. And I can only speak into your life once I've walked that journey of I've honored you, I love you, I see you, I value you, I celebrate you. We see the inherent creative destiny or created destiny that God has put in you. But now there's some things that we need to journey together. And we love people coming just as they are, in every shape and form. People are welcome, and they must come and be who they are. But it's not, as we were saying, licensed just to stay as you are, because we're wanting to disciple correctly. We're wanting to shepherd the sheep well. We're wanting people to be more like Jesus as their journey with us unfolds. And
authenticity.
We want to keep it real.
And authenticity for me is something that puts a high value on relationship.
Totally.
Because if we have relationship and we live as family and friends who love each other, then we feel the freedom to be authentic with each other.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Like I feel, you know, I'm authentic in our relationship,
Yeah.
husband and wife,
Yeah.
but it's because of the relationship we have,
Yes.
we husband and wife.
Yes.
So, you know, relationship, there's a high value on relationship.
It underpins everything, really.
To be authentic.
Yeah.
Because I am not going to be authentic with someone that I don't feel there's a relationship with, and someone that I feel safe with. So authenticity comes out when you feel safe.
Definitely. You know? And just some of the things for those of you that have tuned in, obviously, that are listening and watching this, you know, we're speaking about there being no masks. You know, it's safe here for you to drop your guard. You know, we know that people come with stuff that they're battling through, but it is our privilege to walk through that stuff with people, to let them cry on our shoulders.
And we want people to feel safe.
Absolutely. Vulnerable, to be honest, to be open, to be transparent. Because, you know, it's interesting. When we've understood, you know, in terms of, and certainly in our journey as a couple, but even in walking with people and being on leadership teams, the devil does his best work in the dark.
Yeah.
And when we're authentic and we open and we're honest and we're transparent and we let the light shine on those areas of our lives with people that we trust, that we've honored, when you bring light into a scenario, the dark can't operate.
No.
But
do not stay there.
Exactly right.
Yes.
We don't want people to stay in those spaces.
Yeah.
But in the trust that honor and authenticity cultivate, people then can say, you know what, I'm struggling with this. We can, all right, let's go after this thing. We're going to help you walk this out. We're going to help you beat the enemy at this.
And the moments where I've struggled the most with growing in areas where I need to grow is when I've kept it in the dark. So authenticity helps us to grow. So when I can go to someone who loves me, where I feel safe, and say, you know, I'm struggling with this thing, it comes out into the light, into the open, and then we grow from that point onwards.
Yes.
But to not stay there, like I've said.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what the space we want to create at Freedomhouse. So we want to create the space where people feel safe to bring things into the light, into the open, so that we can walk a journey of growth with them.
Yeah. And you can't really have one without the other. You cannot have authenticity without honor, as we've said.
No.
It's crucial. People want to feel that they have something to offer, that they have something to contribute. So we speak into that.
Yeah.
We call that out of them. And then the authenticity comes because almost their guard is dropped, the mask, as you were referring to, is removed, and people are able to be themselves and just to not have to aspire to something. There's nothing to aspire to. There's no hoop to jump through, or number of hoops to jump through. You know, we love everybody. Everybody's the A-team. You'll hear us saying this from the pulpit, both the digital pulpit these days and the one that is, you know, physically in our building. You are all the A-team. You know, when there's a call to prayer, you know, the priesthood of all believers. This is the stuff that we live by, and that is so important to us. And so I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Babes, thanks so much for helping me communicate this.
Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And guys, listen, we've loved sharing this stuff with you.
Amen.
We bless you. We love you. And we so look forward to seeing your faces sometime. So
soon.
Thank you, Mizi. And bless
Thank
you guys.
We love you.
Cheers, man.
All I know is our body.